Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, is now back in theaters for the second time. So don't miss your chance to see the experience on the big screen again as part of the 25th anniversary. So this story leads when two Jedi Knights, Qui-Gon and his apprentice Obi-Wan Kenobi, was sent by the Supreme Chancellor and managed to protect Queen Amidala from the greedy Traid Federation by the Separatists, because they wanted to force Queen Amidala to sign a treaty with them, but she refused. And met an amphibian creature named Jar Jar Binks, and sending them to Gungan. But the Gungans were not pleased to see Jar Jar, and so was Toprals and Boss Nass, because they had banished Jar Jar from their city. But Boss Nass will send Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan take his transport, but they decide to execute Jar Jar for returning. But Qui-Gon assured them that Jar Jar will go along with him. And the Gungans agreed, and Jar Jar is saved from the execution and headed to the palace, the Queen's palace. And they were captured by the battle droids. And Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan came to rescue her, and had taken her to her starship and escaped Naboo. But unfortunately, the ship was hit, and the shield generator was damaged. And R2-D2 came to repair it and succeeded and got away. But unfortunately, the hyperdrive has been leaking because they don't have enough power to get to Coruscant. So they headed to Tatooine instead. And Qui-Gon and Jar Jar and R2 leave the ship and met with the Queen's handmaid, Padme Amidala, and went to Watto's shop and met Anakin Skywalker, who wanted to win the Boonta Eve race, but he never placed any of them, and he never finished the race or even finished one. The next day, Anakin went to the Boonta Eve Classic Pod race and defeated Sebulba and completed the third and final lap and finished the race in first place, and finally won his freedom from Watto. But just then, Darth Maul came to attack Qui-Gon. It was sent by his master, Darth Sidious. And Qui-Gon escaped, and the starship headed to Coruscant, and talked to the Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, or simply Senator Palpatine, of course. And Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon talked to the Jedi Council, and Yoda and Mace Windu, about Anakin. But then Yoda was concerned, but it would be very impossible to take on the second apprentice. But Qui-Gon isn't going to do that. But he informs Yoda that Obi-Wan is ready to face the trials. And they're headed back to Naboo, and Queen Amidala, revealing her, known as Padme Amidala. It was she who was really Queen Amidala, and begging Boss Nass to help her people. But then Boss Nass and the Gungans agreed to join her. And the battle commenced. And Captain Panaka and the Gungans and Jar Jar are battling against the battle droids. But suddenly, Darth Maul approaches, and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon battling against Darth Sidious' Sith apprentice. And Anakin drove on a Naboo starfighter and headed to the Traid Federation starship. And the battle droids surrounded the Gungans and Jar Jar and Captain Toprals. And Darth Maul defeated Qui-Gon and stabbed him. And Padme and her handsmaid and Panaka got Newt Gunray surrounded. and forcing him and discuss with a new treaty. And Anakin blew up the Traid Federation starship, and the battle droids shut down, and it's all out of commission. And Obi-Wan defeated Darth Maul, and Qui-Gon spoke to his Padawan Obi-Wan one last time in his dying breath, and promised him that he will train Anakin, and Qui-Gon is gone forever. And then the celebration commenced, as Palpatine has been elected as Chancellor, and Anakin has become Obi-Wan's apprentice. And the Gungans and the Jedi and Queen Amidala celebrated their victory on Naboo. And everything turned out great. And honestly, back in 2012, I did see Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace on 3D when I was 13 years old. And I loved those. And let me know in the comments. And this is Minion Fan 1024 signing off. And don't miss your chance to see Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, now playing in theaters for the 25th anniversary.